T. Suddiff with Empowering Legacy, and I am here today with author LaDonna Marie, and evangelist. So let me tell you a little bit about Miss LaDonna Marie. She is an international, multi-award winning, best-selling author, evangelist, speaker, mother of two, and CEO of nonprofit Planting Positive Seeds. Her purpose is to empower and encourage others in overcoming obstacles in life. LaDonna Marie assists individuals in transforming their lives through personal development and implementing resiliency skills with her books and her nonprofit organization. Her motto is to empower, encourage, and motivate others to take action in their life and discover their champion inside. It's a part of her mission to reach individuals all over the world and to assist them to leap into their greatness. Now, let me tell you a little bit about how I met LaDonna. It was last fall at the National Women's Brunch founded by Miss Letitia Pearson. We were actually sitting at the table with one another, and I saw her, and I think I saw something a little pink and greenish, and I said, "Oh, that's my soror." And she was also a very well-known author already, so I was very familiar with her name. I kind of went to my phone and said, "Is this the person I think it is?" And I saw that it was, so I was super excited to connect with her. How are you doing, LaDonna?
I am doing well, and thank you so much for this opportunity. And reading my bio and just reconnecting with you because we did meet last year, and the connection was made, and we've been keeping in touch ever since then on social media. And I love what you're doing, with your stuff and your merchandise and stuff, and your books. So congratulations on all that you have going.
Thank you so much. That is huge coming from an author like you. And so I wanted to connect with you today because I really wanted to talk about success and what that looks like for you. Okay. So my first question that I have for you, Miss Marie, is when you started, what was your vision?
So when I started, and I want to take you back to, because I'm actually have been writing since the age of 14. Awesome. So then my vision really was merged with God's vision because he saw that there were some things within me that needed to be healed because of where he was going to take me. So when he met me, he was like, "I'm going to heal you so that your words and the words that I give you can help to heal others." And so immediately at 14, not having all of it figured out, just knowing that I wanted to partner, that, that if you're going to give me this, whatever I hear, I'm going to write. I'm not going to second guess it. I'm just going to write. And so when I began at that age, it was just, okay, well, let me write whatever you give me. Because if I know that I already felt like I wanted to encourage people, empower people. So that was just something, just a natural part of my personality, of my makeup. And so the very beginning, it was always to encourage others. It was always to empower them, to help them. Because even at 14, I was going through a lot of things that had me, not knowing where to go and not knowing where to turn. And then when God stepped in for me, it was like, okay, now he stepped in for me, and what he teaches me, I'll be able to step in for somebody else. So it's kind of like reach one, teach one. And so it started at 14, and it's been like the carry out through all of my books and through whatever that God gives me to do. That's my focus of empowering, encouraging, and motivating others to, like I said, discover their champion, because something within you, we have to figure out how do we get that champion to come alive? How do we heal, broken pieces? How do we encourage you just to take the next step? And so always to edify, to encourage, and to empower is where I started.
Awesome. That's great. What were some obstacles on your road to success?
So some obstacles to my road to success was first just believing all the ways that I could do it in the very beginning, because it was just like I had to learn how to be my own biggest cheerleader. Because I didn't have a lot of people in my corner saying, oh, this is going to be amazing. At that time, even in the beginning era, I didn't have a lot of people who ever said that they were going to be authors. Around 14 years old, I looked up to Nikki Giovanni and Dr. Maya Angelou, and Langston Hughes, and people who I had known because we were in school and we were reading these books. And so for me, it was just that I had to overcome believing that this was for me, believing that a little girl from Fayette, Mississippi could make an amazing impact over the entire world. So I had to see that for myself first, because like I said, I didn't have people that saw that for me, even some that I shared that gift with, or shared, even some of the things that God had talked to me about when I was 14, it kind of like startled and amazed them, even though I was still getting used to it. And so it was just like I had to understand that this was for me. And then I had to be my own biggest cheerleader, and that I had to fully believe in what he said, and not be swayed by anyone else that came up and said otherwise. Not to be ugly, or not to go back with them, but it's just that once you have that, okay, I believe, like once you check in with yourself and say, no matter what goes on, no matter who speaks against it, no matter even if I feel like giving up, but at the end of the day, I believe. And so that was like the biggest thing in my life. And I want to tell you also, I met Dr. Maya Angelou when I was 14. She was on her way on a trip in the airport, and little 14-year-old, still wet behind the ears, trying to learn this thing about being an author. I went up to her, me and my friends, and I kind of, we greeted her. And I talked to her, and I shared how I wanted to impact the world, and how I had been reading her books, and how I saw how she was doing all these great and amazing things about, helping people to, expose some of the things that were hurtful, but allowing them to have that opportunity to grow. And I was like, I wanted to do that in my life. And so, she gave me some encouragement then. And it just, that along with God and along with me, believing within myself, it just started me on a path of saying, no matter what, I believe that this is for me. And so my very first thing is, you always have to believe. And that's what I tell others. When they're out there, you have to believe it. There's no way that I can get other people to believe it if I don't believe it first.
That's good. That's good. So LaDonna, you have your vision and you have your belief. What was your why, your driving force towards success?
So my driving force for success always has been helping other people. For me, it equates just how God he cares about people's souls. And so for my writing, what I was doing was helping them to get healed through what he's giving me to give them. And so it was always about making an impact or making a difference in someone's life. And that's what keeps me going. I say that even now, when I wake up in the morning, it doesn't matter how hard yesterday was, but I wake up with a new sense of who is the person that I'm going to meet today? Who is the persons that I'm going to speak into their lives? What would you have for me to do today, God? Even if it's not always talking about a book, it could be something with personal development. It could be something within my nonprofit. I may be having a retreat for the young girls, something that will meet them where they are. And so my driving point for everything that I do is to help to reach back and to bring someone else up, and to let them know you're not in this fight on your own. And so that has been what carried me, because I know even on yesterday I had wrote down that if this had only been about me, I would have gave up a long time ago, because this road has been rough and it has been rugged, and I've been through, the process has been daunting at times, but God, what I'm saying? He always would find a way for me to see the light at the end of the tunnel. He would always find a way for me to start turning. I think it was probably like in maybe 2015 when I started turning my life processes into lessons, like the lessons that I learned. So I no longer looked at them as taunting or too much. I look at them as, what is it in this moment that I need to learn so that I can move forward. And so when I wake up, that's the whole thing. How can I help someone else get through their moment? I'm not their God. God is God. But what he's given me to give is these teachable moments to help you make it through.
Gotcha. That's good. So, what advice would you give others about success?
So what I would give them about success is first making sure that you're rooted and grounded in actually what it is that you want to do and that God wants you to do. First, I would always say, check it with Him, because the things that He desires, like your predestined plan, when we all came to this earth, when He knew us before we were formed in our mother's womb, and so we have a purpose. So whatever your purpose is, what you do, the most, what you like to do, that is connected to what you will do in life and to the success, because success is not always in dollars. Success is in making sure that you deliver, what you do. Success for me most days is when I, pour out or pour into a person that I'm mentoring or that I'm coaching, and that they say at the end of the day that this helped them to see the light. This helped them to change some things within themselves. This helped them to realign. And so to me, that's success, because you started one way and then you ended up another way. Success for me is not always letting someone leave the same way they came. So if that's helping them to find, a new level of understanding. But my thing is for success is you have to make sure that if you're motivated and that you know that this is something that God has purposed you to do, that you make sure that you do everything that you need to do to learn your craft, to encourage yourself, to be motivated, and to schedule time to make time to work on, your craft. You can work 8 to 5, but then you take you some hours, you make sure you realign, and then you work on your business, whatever God has given you to do. And so being successful means that you do have to work at it, but you have to know what it is, so that you won't be working aimlessly, that you're working towards a goal, and that you're going to be successful in whatever you put your hands to if you make sure that you check in with God, you're following His leading and prompting, and then you're studying to show yourself approved with your craft, and then you're executing. Because we get to a point where we get so much knowledge that we never really take the time to step out, because we won't know how successful we are until we try it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it can be trial and error, because I know for so many times people be like, you do this and you do this. And I was like, a lot of that stuff, I did it because I was like, I have to do it. You know what I'm saying? I have to do it before I can say I can't do it. I have to try it before I be like, no, this is not for me. If it's lined up with my purpose. And so being successful, I would tell them to make sure that they know, what their purpose is, or they're working actively to find out what that is. And then they begin to do things that will help them to execute that goal each and every day of their life to live out their purpose.
Gotcha. Okay, so what are some key things that you believe successful people implement?
So I do believe successful people implement making sure, because I'm an evangelist, so I'm gonna let y'all know, we gotta pray about this thing. You have to pray about it, because you, like I said before, you don't want to be moving aimlessly. So successful people, they pray about it, and they plan. You make sure that you have like a plan with what you want to do. I have calendars that keep me accountable. I have to be accountable to what I say. Showing up for the interviews, making sure that you do something that that you have to do, maybe on your list to write today or to check in today. Like, successful people have a schedule to stay on point, and then making sure that like you said, you have somebody that can help you, hold you accountable. Many times in our life, things will get in the way, and sometimes we have to readjust our schedule and our times and things that we said we were going to do. But we have to learn how to make those smart goals, making those smart goals to make sure that they're you know what it is. It's specific, that you know what you want to do. It's measurable. Say if you want, I'm going to write a book in 90 days, then you know 90 days, put a date on it. Say that's going to be June 30th. So you know between now to June 30th, your goal is to have it finished. So in the meantime, in between time, you will be doing what you need to do. So it's just like making those smart goals to make sure that you're not just working aimlessly, but you have a target and you have a specific goal in mind that you're working on.
I agree. What I heard you say was you have to pray about it, you have to plan, and you have to set goals. That's good. So, Author LaDonna Marie, how can people reach you? How can they connect with you?
So they can reach me on my website, which is www.ladonnamarie.org. You can also find me on Facebook under LaDonna Marie. You can also find me, I have a page on Facebook. It's LaDonna Marie Books. If you type in LaDonna Marie Books, you will see me on that page. I am on Twitter, Instagram, under LMB Poetry, because at first it was just LaDonna Marie Books Poetry. That was all that I was doing. So I just went on and kept it. So it's LMB Poetry, and you can find me on Twitter and on Instagram. I'm under the same, but my website has the links to different places. So if you go to www.ladonnamarie.org, you can find me. And also my books are available on my website, on my shop page, and they're also available on Amazon. You type in LaDonna Marie, you'll see my books, you'll see my page. On Barnes & Noble, I'm on there as well.
That's awesome, sister. It was so good connecting with you today. Is there anything else that you want to share?
I just want to share with the people to be motivated to move. In this time period, time is kind of stand still for a minute for us to, catch our breath and to work on those things and to see what things really matter in life and what you have to, focus on. So I would tell people to always be motivated to move. To look at the things that you like, the goals that we talked about that you want to accomplish, and find ways to do that. Let's look at the things that we can do and not look at the things that we don't have. We always have to shift our focus. And so, like even in this time, we have to be focused on, we're not going to be here in this time forever. So what can we do that when we get out of this moment of not being able to go and, be around and go into different places, what will you have been accomplished with the time that you have? Would you have wrote that book in 90 days? Would you have started your podcast? Would you have gone live on Facebook? So be motivated to move each and every day of your life. And this has been an honor, and I'm so thankful, sis, that I was able to connect with you and to share your platform with me.
Yes, thank you so much.